Welcome to Time Well Spent, a podcast from LaborSync, the only real-time, multilingual timesheet software your business will ever need. It really wasn't that long ago that a field crew's tech stack was, what, a clipboard?
A clipboard that maybe didn't have splinters, if you were lucky.
Right. And a two-way radio if things were really high-end. But I was looking at this new LaborSync blog article, and it's clear we're not just moving to digital. We're moving towards something they call invisible technology.
Yeah, and it sounds a bit, I don't know, futuristic, but the idea is actually super practical.
How so?
Well, think about your smartphone.
Yeah.
When you get home, you don't stop and tell it to join your Wi-Fi.
No, it just connects.
It just happens.
Yeah.
Don't tell your photos to sync to the cloud, they just do. The best tech, really, is the tech you eventually stop noticing.
And that's the shift happening in workforce management.
Exactly. The blog article points out that something like 80% of organizations now demand mobile solutions. But the goalposts have moved. It's not just about having an app anymore. It's about removing friction.
Okay, but let's talk about friction. Because when you tell a field crew you're bringing in, invisible tracking with GPS, their first thought isn't gratitude.
No, it's paranoia.
It's Big Brother is watching me.
It absolutely is.
Mm.
And look, that fear can be justified if a manager is just using it to get on someone's case about a 5-minute break.
Mm.
But the article makes this really critical distinction. Modern GPS automation isn't about surveillance. It's about getting rid of that manual step of checking in.
So less about spying, more about automated bookkeeping.
Precisely. The worker doesn't need to remember to pull out a phone, open an app, hit a button, which, let's be honest, they're going to forget when they're busy.
Of course.
The system just recognizes the geofence and boom, timestamps the arrival. It kills that whole end-of-week memory game.
Oh, yeah. Was that at Main Street or Broadway on Tuesday morning?
Exactly. And for the business owner, that data isn't really for catching slackers.
Right.
It's intelligence. It gives you actual travel times to optimize routes. It turns all that guesswork into, hard data.
Speaking of the tools themselves, the article had this amazing analogy. It said shrinking desktop software onto a phone is like trying to fit a couch through a doggy door.
I love that image.
Yeah.
We've all used that app, right? The one with the tiny text and menus you can't click.
Yes. Yeah.
That's not mobile first.
Yeah.
A true mobile first design. It assumes you're standing in a windy parking lot, maybe wearing gloves.
So you need big buttons, minimal typing.
Big buttons, and this is non-negotiable offline functionality. If the app just spins because the cell service is spotty, it's useless.
There was a stat in the research on this that really stood out to me. It said companies with good mobile self-service options see 34% higher retention among younger workers.
That makes a ton of sense. I mean, Gen Z grew up with seamless apps. If you hand them some clunky system that feels like it was built in 2005, they don't just get annoyed.
They think the company is a mess.
They assume the whole company's disorganized.
Yeah.
It's a signal.
Which brings us to the other big nightmare, communication lag.
Mhm.
You change a schedule at 7 a.m., but the crew's already gone.
And that lag is just lost money, pure and simple. The solution is real-time syncing. The LaborSync blog says organizations using these modern tools report up to 90% fewer scheduling errors.
90%. That's massive.
It is. And they spend 75% less time just on scheduling tasks. Because you're not calling 3 different people to make sure they saw an email. You change it in the office, and it just updates instantly.
This also comes back to the data, right? We've all seen those paper logs where everything gets rounded up.
Oh, the death of the manual log. They are a disaster. Bad handwriting, forgetting what you did, rounding up to the nearest hour. Automated capture just gives you clean, objective data.
So the payoff isn't just efficiency, it's what? Culture.
It really comes down to fairness. When the data is objective, you stop having those he said, she said arguments over hours. It builds trust.
And managers can actually manage.
Right, they can stop chasing down timesheets and start focusing on solving real problems and dealing with customers.
So that seems to be the big takeaway here. If your system feels like it's fighting your crew, it's not just annoying, it's actually outdated.
Yeah. The future of workforce management is silence. It should just work in the background.
This episode of Time Well Spent was brought to you by LaborSync. Track employee hours and job site locations in real time from any device. Start your risk-free trial today at laborsync.com.